We're here to prove it's possible, not just for us, but for every woman brave enough to go for more. We believe success is sweeter when it's shared, and that your next level comes faster when you're surrounded by women who truly get it. This episode is brought to you by the Ultimate Girls Trip Business Mastermind Retreat, where big goals, belly laughs, and bold action all belong in the same room. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much again for joining us. Today, we are talking about the concept of waiting and putting things off. I'm a fast mover, so for me, it always doesn't sit well. If I'm excited about something, I'm like, I don't know how people wait. Like, I don't know how you can, and if I feel a sense of urgency, I really feel it 10 times, I think. And to give you a silly example of this, my husband needed to renew his passport. And he said to me, it was, what day would he have said it on? He said it on a Wednesday. He goes, well, and we had limited time before we were going to travel. And he said to me, I will have to wait till Monday to do that. And I said, why? Like we have literally the bare minimum a number of days before we travel. Why would you do that? And he's like, well, because I have to fill up the paperwork and I have to get people to sign for me. I was like, that can all be done by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can fill out the paperwork tonight. You take it to work with you in the morning. You have your boss and somebody else from work be your witnesses. And then you file the paperwork the minute the door opens to the
100%.
passport office. That's my sense of urgency if I'm excited about something. Where I lose my sense of urgency is when I'm scared of something. And so there's things that I will wait on that I know I shouldn't. So what are some of the areas in your life that you...
For me, it's not scared of, it's that don't like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
I don't like it. That shit is headed to the back burner for life.
For sure.
For life. Tasks that I'm like, ugh, I hate that. No, I will do anything. I will literally scrub toilets with a toothbrush before I get to the one task that I don't like.
Yes, I agree.
My procrastination skills are so strong for the
10
things
out
that
of
I
10
dislike.
levels.
But I think that common things that lies people tell themselves about waiting. For one, this is one that I'm so bad for. I always say when I have a little break, I'm going to get after that. So whatever that thing is, when I have more time, for instance, Christmas just came and went. Christmas is the perfect time where I'm there won't be a lot of work happening for the couple of weeks, the week of Christmas, and then between Christmas and New Year's is pretty slow. And I think to myself, that's when I'm going to do the thing.
Get all caught up on.
Reorganize the kids' dresser. I'm going to...
get to that paperwork for work that you don't want to do.
Yeah, the work stuff. I'm that'll be my opportunity to really catch up. That's a lie. That is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I have to keep reminding myself, don't wait for more time. Don't wait for the perfect opportunity. Don't wait for Christmas break. Don't wait for March break. Don't wait for the weekend. Just do it in the moment. Or if it's something you really hate, do little by little, and just so that it doesn't become this enormous task that you're too scared to even start.
Yeah, it's the hoarder. It's the hoarder analogy. A hoarder doesn't know where to start, so they just let it keep going. And
absolutely.
The problem with being a hoarder and hoarding up all your tasks that you don't like is what day does that happen? What month of your life are you willing to ruin when you could have just put the clothes away along the way, or could have just done the receipt organizing along the way every month or every 2 months? So
this brings me to the next don't wait, and it's don't wait for the right time. So I think this is another lie that we kind of tell ourselves, I'm just waiting for the right time to start the business. I'm just waiting for the right time to paint the house. I'm just waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There's never going to be a moment where you're I'm feeling so flush that I'm just going to go ahead and buy the new couch that I need. The moment is now. That's just the reality of every situation. Is there is no perfect time. There's no perfect time to do it. So
one thing I will say is if you put things off forever and ever, there can be the wrong time in a weird way. So what I mean by that is for instance, I know these people and they have been wanting to sell their house for years. And we've recently just had a big boom in house prices. And during that time, they really were like, well, I should paint, I should do this, I should renovate, I should. And so they did a whole bunch of like, I can't until I do that. I can't until I do that. I don't want to sell my house because I won't get top dollar. Well, they missed the boom.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're definitely not going to get top dollar. They still haven't renovated it. They haven't done a thing. They haven't touched it yet. And they missed the boat on the high prices. So it's one of those things that I was like, well, now is not the right time. Like there was a right time and you let it pass. It felt like it would last forever, but they don't last forever. Like when you have the little bit of extra money, there's a good chance something will come along and need that money if you don't use it for something else
Of
that is
course.
important to you, right?
Of
Like
course.
it's the analogy also of like you save, and then the minute you let's say get ten or $20,000 in your savings account, you're all proud of yourself. The water heater breaks at your house, and
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, all the money's gone because all you had to do was fix something you didn't even care about. But what's good about that is you had the money saved, so it didn't go on a credit card, it didn't go unfixed. It didn't get fixed and then continue to break. You were able to replace it, and that has to bring you a certain set of like peace of mind. But every single thing, the right time is, it's like, oh, is right now the right time to buy a new house if prices are high? No, but because the right time to buy a house was actually 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, if you were alive then. Realistically, the right time is today if it's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get it done, get it started.
And like we're talking about big scale purchases, but even for like small scale purchases, like
Yes.
have you ever like really, really, really wanted something like and thought like this is going to make my life a lot easier? For instance, I really, really, really wanted new earbuds. Like
Yeah, I did
it's
this too.
stupid and insignificant, right? But
Totally.
I just put it off and I put it off and I put it off.
Hmm.
And then it's like I ended up buying them and they weren't any cheaper, maybe $10, $20, like nothing significant enough to change my life. And I thought to myself, why did I put this off? This was so important to me because I love to go on a walk. I love to listen to a book or
Hmm.
talk on the phone or listen to like
You
inspirational
travel.
podcasts.
Yeah.
I travel all the time. Like, why have I waited on this? Like, so if something is really important to you and it's gonna make your life better, why are
Yeah.
you waiting?
Well,
Like,
and do you want to know
it's
what's
so
crazy?
crazy.
So I did this like 3 years ago. I had a toothbrush, like an Oral-B or something, like a electric one, and I loved it. I loved it, and it stopped working, and so I was like, well, there's got to be one that's less money. I don't need like a $250 toothbrush again. I can just get a normal price toothbrush. And I, but like, if you know me, one of my favorite things in the world is to brush my teeth. I just love it. It's
Excellent
very
oral
important to me.
hygiene. Excellent oral.
Excellent oral hygiene. So I fretted, I looked up reviews, I read, I was like, and then I made it about I would like a more attractive one, not about the price. But like these more attractive ones, I even ordered a couple. They don't have like a stand. So, and then they don't charge. So you have to like plug them into the wall with an ugly plug-in.
Yes.
And I'm like, what? I hate this. This looks terrible in my bathroom. I'm not keeping this cord hanging across the sink. Like, what is happening? So I just didn't even know the questions to ask about any other kind of toothbrush. I just assumed they all came with a stand. So finally, I don't know if it was you or Darren, but you basically were like, what the hell is going on? For somebody that spends the money that you like to spend on everything that's important to you, why have you dug your heels and not just getting the one you like, you've used for a long time? What is happening? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I went into like scarcity mentality and like was having an episode of like flashback to a previous time in my life or what, but
The worst times.
it was such a stupid thing that I'm like, I wasted 3 months researching this. It was really strange, really
Mm-hmm.
strange. And I spent the money. And then I never thought about that money ever again. I never once looked at my bank, was like, damn, if that
Wish you
two,
didn't buy that.
yeah, that 225 was still in there, everything would be better.
I know. And you know what else? People are going to be listening to this and coming up with all their reasons why.
Oh, yeah.
they're waiting. But if you're sitting on a like, oh, I'm waiting to hire the person, I'm waiting to raise my prices, I'm waiting, I'm waiting till I have more cash in the bank, I'm waiting to launch until after XYZ. I'm waiting to tell people what I do until I've got it like absolutely perfected. I'm waiting until my website is done. I'm waiting until my Instagram is like pretty and I have enough like blocks to fill in my whole business page. I don't want people to know that I'm just a beginner. So I'm just waiting for that. If any of these are ringing true for you, you have to stop waiting. Like, take this as your sign that you are the problem. You
Yeah.
are the only thing in the way.
And it's time to like go make the social media posts that you've been thinking you need to make when you're ready. That would be the first step once the website's done. And another funny thing about website design is a lot of people, what has to happen in the process of website design is it has to get published in order to connect some of the last final things. And what ends up happening is people don't feel ready for it to be out into the world and that someone
Yeah.
could stumble upon their website at that point. Because not because the website's not designed and beautiful, not because it doesn't work yet, not because any of the things, but they are not ready.
Not ready to be seen yet.
Yes. But what's crazy is we talk to entrepreneurs all the time, and our friends, our ultimate girls, our, community here that listens, they write us, and people go years and years and years saying that they're not ready and saying that they're going to be ready after this point, or they're going to do it in the summer because they have more time in the summer, or they're going into, and it's like, I never under any circumstances wake up in the morning and think, you know what I feel really ready to do today? Make a whole bunch of social media content for my businesses. I can't wait to get on that camera and talk about it. I can't wait to learn how to do meta ads and, the formula and what to say in these meta ads. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I don't like any of it. But if I was waiting for it to feel fun and good and ready and exciting, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd never do it.
Absolutely. To take this back to so these are all like business examples. And I truly think that if any of those things that I said rang true for you, you need to have like a soul searching moment and write down what is actually stopping you and start questioning your responses. If you're like, oh, it's time. Well, how can you save time? Solve every time that you have a reason why you can't. Solve that problem and then solve the next problem and then solve the next problem until there's no more problems to solve and you're just doing the thing. So that's business. Number two, my next favorite topic is that it's about the journey. And I know this is so cliche, but if you are sitting there and you're saying, I will be happy when, I will be calm when, I will be engaged when, I will be, in love when, if any of these things, if you're waiting for a future date to feel any of those things, this has to be your wake up call that you have to start finding joy in the moment. You have to start finding joy in the journey because life isn't always going to be like rainbows and sunshine, and your business journey, your personal journey, your love journey, your relationship journey, all of it is going to have ebbs and flows. It's going to be up and down. And if you're always hanging your hat on that, it's going to be different in the future, but that future is never attainable to you, or the future is too distant, or you feel really justified in your misery in this very moment, you have to see things completely differently. And whatever you need to unpack to get there, whether you need to go see a therapist, or you need to sit down and journal, or you need to have like a little come to Jesus moment where you're like, I am, like an admission. I am the problem. I am miserable. I am waiting for the next best.
Yeah, or I feel angry all the time.
Exactly. Whatever that
is.
looks like for you, you have to change it. You are the only person who can change it. You have to find joy in the journey. That is.
Well, and using the anger one, let's say you come to the thing and you're like, I'm angry. Don't stop there. That's not the answer. Because everyone knows their emotion in the moment. Like you can be like, I'm sad, I'm tired, I'm angry, I'm sick, I'm whatever. But why? Why? And what about feeling angry obviously works for you because you're picking it over the other emotions.
That's not true. Because you know what I've learned about anger? Anger is your body's reaction Like when you are so hurt by something, you can also feel angry. Anger is like
Yes, of course.
anger is your body's and your brain's natural defense mechanism. You get angry because it allows you that like endorphin release where you're like, okay, if I was being chased by a bear, if I'm angry or I'm aggressive, I can then fight the bear. The
Exactly.
real thing in this day and age is that anger is often like a byproduct of a different emotion.
Of course.
Feeling so hurt by somebody's behavior that you're angry at them. You're feeling
Exactly.
so devastated,
Or you're not being heard, or you're not being
whatever that looks
seen, or
like.
whatever the story is. But what I think about anger is exactly that. And that's what I said, don't stop there. You
Yeah,
have to
don't
find the
stop.
underlying reasons, emotions, the moments that make you feel this anger. Why? And like they can be everything. They can go right back to your childhood. They can go to the way you feel at work and your marriage and your business partner relationships, whatever you've got going on in your life. They can even feel like just resentment for having to do everything for your family. There's a million reasons, but your reason will be your reason and it won't be everybody else's. So just being like, I'm just angry, I'm an angry person, that's not the end of the line. You have to dig. And we said this a few months ago on a podcast, but keep asking why. Keep saying, why though? Why? And like ask yourself questions like, at what point do I remember start myself being angry a lot, or myself feeling, less than, or not being heard, or whatever the like next thing in line that you find for yourself. Where did it start? Who
Mhm.
didn't listen to you along the way? If being heard is your thing, you know? And keep digging to the bottom of it. And like there's days where I'm like, okay, you're cranky, you feel out of control, you feel whatever. And I'm like, what's up with this? Because I've gone 3 days in a row. It's not my nature. I know myself fairly well, but I can't kick this one. And it's like I'm mad about something that isn't in my control. And I have to face ugly conversations and ugly parts of myself that I don't really like. Like it would be easier to be like, yeah, I'm just a bitch today.
Mhm.
Like, or I'm just bitchy. And it's like, yeah, but why? You don't have to be bitchy. You could choose not to be, actually.
Absolutely. And I also think that the deeper you unpack or need to unpack, the more you might actually find that like you can't do it on your own. You might need to go see a therapist. You might do
Yes.
whatever that unpacking looks like. But I also think that if you don't unpack your suitcase, there is zero room for growth. If you are
Exactly.
settled into I'm a bitch, if you're
Yep.
settled into well, I'm just angry, guess what? You're
It
not going
just
to grow. You're going to stay there. You're going to stay there. Your business is going to stay there. You're going to stay stunted in that very moment because growing, whether that's personally or professionally, requires you to stretch your edges, to get uncomfortable, to face the like demons, the bad side of
Mhm.
things, the things that you're not super proud of. It requires taking a mirror and holding it up to yourself
Yeah,
every once in a while and saying, like, why isn't this working?
totally.
Whether it's your outlook on life or your business venture, what is it that's not working, and what is my role in all of that? How can I keep
Exactly.
my side of the street clean?
For sure.
So
And that's the ultimate goal in our lives, is to know our own role in every single situation we've created. And like, don't forget to take those chances to know the role you play in bringing joy to your family, or like flip it and say like, I feel resentment towards the fact that I have to do everything at my house and nobody else is helping me, let's say. But also, don't be afraid to be like, but I'm also my family's like safe place. I'm their caregiver, I'm their provider, I'm their whatever your other positive roles are, that you actually feel good about yourself because of, and that you wanted for yourself. As a mom, I think a lot of moms take the burden of like dentist appointments, household chores, the like side parenting that isn't just the emotional parts, just isn't just the driving them to school parts,
mhm.
but the actual like
The
mental
mental
load.
load.
Yeah, the mental load of everything else. So I can see how it would feel overwhelming as a parent, but you also wanted your kids to come to you when they're sad. You wanted to be the mom that could take them to the dentist and be their like safe person that holds their hand when they're scared. and that they would lean on you in that way. So you have to look at good stuff in your life too that you've created, because that's part of the total story.
Absolutely.
And also, you very likely set this up, whether it was like you catfished your husband at the beginning and said like, I love making the dinners, don't you help, and we're being all cool, and then you're like, just kidding, I hate this, make dinner every night.
But even if you didn't catfish your husband, what I was going to say is that
I catfish my husband, guys.
What I was going to say is that if you have never asked for help, if you've never said, hey, this feels like too much of a mental load for me to carry, could you maybe make the dentist appointments this month or this year? Then you have to take some ownership in why you're where you are,
Absolutely. Exactly.
You know what? I think this is a topic for another podcast, because I do think that we should go through the differences between a male and a female brain. I think that would be like really fascinating. Maybe we'll get an expert, any brain expert out there, or like, gender experts, because I do feel like women do naturally carry a lot of the mental load. But I also believe that men, they're not trying to make it that way.
No, I agree.
Their brain is just different, and they're just waiting to be told what to do. They're very less emotional about things. Anyways, podcast for another day. And I just think that if any of this resonated with you, don't wait to unpack the suitcase. Actually, if you
and don't wait to buy the nice dress if it's something that's important to you. Don't wait to go on the vacation if you're in a position to
tell somebody you love them.
Exactly.
Don't wait to raise your prices. Don't wait for the perfect
start your business.
Don't wait to start the business. Don't wait to tell somebody something really important to you. Don't wait. That's the message for today. So I hope everyone has a great week, and we will see you again next week.
We are so grateful you're here.
It would mean the world to us if you will subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel and leave us a review.
If you want to hear more from us, go to proofitspossible.com to join our mailing list and find our social links so you don't miss a thing.
Thanks, and chat next time.